we have to ask it as a question if we're going to be legitimate, right? Because we are legitimate.
We're not clickbaity.
What is it? What are we?
All.
Journalists? We're journalists.
We're journalists.
We are official, real journalists, guys. So, is ARRI for sale? The whole reason why this whole thing popped off was because Bloomberg and Bloomberg is they're real journalists.
They're real journalists.
they are what we pretend to be.
Yes.
So Bloomberg actually put out a report that kind of shocked a lot of people, I think, that ARRI has been in discussion to either sell the full company or parts of the company. And there's some internal talking around that matter, which, for all of us who can't afford ARRI, of course, we care about who can afford them. So we can't afford the camera, but we care who can buy the whole company. And so right now, I think there's two major things that have been popping off around this whole deal. The first one, and obviously the less talked about, is what is the value of ARRI? And what makes them, and why are they up for sale in this very moment, right? Because you don't go on sale if everything's going well, right? You buy stuff.
Profits are popping.
Yeah, if the business is popping, you're not for sale unless somebody is ready to give up the company because they're tired. But it's kind of a big company just to make that decision, right? So the question is, what is the value of the company and why is it potentially up for sale? And then the second, and probably the most talked about question that I know our audience, you guys have been talking about, I was on James's live stream last night and he was talking about it as well, is who could potentially buy ARRI? Now, let's be fair today. I know there are some players that we automatically are going to jump to. We're going to jump to, well, of course, it's got to be Lumix, right? It's got to be Lumix because they already work together. But I want to propose a counter argument to that to open up the whole conversation. There was another company that was poised to be bought by another company, a company near and dear to my heart. I'm talking about Red Digital Cinema. Red was looking as if they were ready for a buyer, and they had been working very closely with Jarrell's daddy's company, Canon, and to the point to where they had adopted the mount. They were working on autofocus. I mean, they were using the same batteries. Even the OG Komodo was using Canon, older Canon camcorder batteries to just get those batteries back into circulation, because before the Komodo was using it, really wasn't nobody using those batteries. And so they even started working in Canon's batteries. So I'm talking, they were deep in the Canon world. They were working with Canon directly on power and efficiency through those batteries, working with Canon with the RF mount as the first camera outside of Canon to even use an RF mount. If I'm not mistaken, the Red was actually the first cinema camera to even have the RF mount. So they even brought out the RF mount before Canon did. But as we all know, Canon is not who ultimately ended up buying Red. It ended up going to Nikon. So, what? Be clear, man.
Cam is wild, bro.
All I want to know is who's going to buy Canon, because we all know they about to give up.
We're going to talk about this in a little bit, Cam Mackey, but in the top 5 sales in the month of July, Canon has sold 3 of the top 5 cameras. Calm down, my
What
boy.
did you say about those cameras, though?
Calm down, my boy.
What did you say about those cameras, though?
I said the ZV-10 and the Fuji. Ain't nobody want that. Ain't nobody want that.
No, what did you call the Canon cameras?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I bet you don't remember.
No. I said we got 3 of the top 5.
All right, so
calm down.
Let's get back on topic. So, first off, chat, we want you guys to sound off because we're going to be hopping in the chat. I want to know who you think is going to end up buying ARRI, and what reason justifies that purchase? Like, what is the benefit for that company? Because, Jarrell, who do you think has right now the best opportunity? Or not opportunity. Who do you think would benefit the most right now?
Should I run the poll?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
So I said, who should buy ARRI?
Okay.
Canon.
Yep.
Panasonic.
Yep.
Sony. They could buy it and shelve it.
That would be such a waste of money.
But they got it.
Yeah.
then Blackmagic.
Okay, I like the Blackmagic. So here's my thought. I would rather, because I don't think Sony will buy. I genuinely don't. But who I think could buy.
But they could.
But so here's my deal. What if we throw in like Apple?
But in honesty, Apple's got the money. They could.
It could.
But that would be such a diversion.
No.
It'd be a massive diversion.
No.
Why not?
Because they're already using ARRIs to shoot all of their TV shows and everything that they're doing with Apple Plus.
Yes.
They're making Hollywood films. They're doing all of this, but they're having to use other people's tech. Now, we know Apple loves to be able to say everything is being used with us.
Okay.
And so they even had to work with Sony to make F1, even though they shot a lot of it with iPhone tech as well.
Yeah.
I think Apple would love to be able to own their own cinema brand. They are all about being prestige. And I think Apple is one of the few companies that could buy ARRI and leave it priced at where it's priced at, because they wouldn't care if they actually sold cameras or not.
Would they try to bring any of the tech into the iPhone?
I believe they would.
Okay, so we'll switch it out.
Because here's my other thought. Apple currently pays Red or Nikon, whoever, because of ProRes RAW. But with ARRI's new ARRI Core, you could improve that. Yeah. And you wouldn't have to pay for a license anymore. You'd have your own new tech.
I imagine that they would need to say to investors, this is why we should buy this. We can. We got trillions of dollars.
Apple TV.
Yes.
You're buying it for Apple TV.
But if you're saying it's going to trickle down into the iPhone?
No, I mean, it might, but...
No, but I'm saying, like, if you say to investors, it's going to trickle down into the iPhone.
Yes.
Then
ARRI designs their own sensors.
I see what I'm saying.
We don't have to go to Sony anymore to get sensors.
I can see that.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just think that there's a higher chance that Apple would buy over Sony for that fourth spot. But ultimately...
Well, you convinced everyone with your argument.
Really?
Because in literally the last 10 seconds of the poll has been up, Apple is at 50%.
I mean, that's my thought. So let's jump into it.
I gotta be fair. I don't think that Apple would, just because I feel like Apple they spent billions on a freaking car, and then was just kind of like, yeah, we're good. Yeah. They shelved it. This feels even a little bit more niche, although to be fair, they do have Apple TV. So I don't think that's a bad idea. I just think that it's like ARRI is so stinking. But I don't know. I do think they would like their name next to every movie shot.
Yes.
I take that back. I don't know.
Because so here's my other thought with Apple buying, right? So if ARRI becomes the Apple company, there's a lot of business that goes on in the movie space, right? Yeah. So imagine you are Apple, and you also now own ARRI, and Scorsese or whoever wants to make a film. They're gonna, like, now you have two pipelines. You can bring them through Apple TV Plus and say, okay, we're still gonna do theatrical runs, because Apple's not afraid of theatrical runs, which I love. Yeah. Right? We're gonna do a theatrical run. You're gonna use our camera, which is an ARRI camera at this point. And we need you to sprinkle in a little bit of iOS in all your movies. So now, like, because Apple, I mean, what did they say in Formula One? Like, selling real brands on a fake jersey. They made like a few $1 million. So now if you're Apple and you realize that branding in movies really works, and we already know this with TV shows and everything else, if you're like, hey, you need to shoot your movie, well, we own ARRI. We can definitely get you these cameras at a really good price.
No more Samsung.
But we need all the good guys in your movies to be rocking iPhones, and then the villains, they can be rocking those green bubbled, Android things. So I just think that there's a lot of the brands. And again, I'm not sure if Apple is the one that's going to buy. I do think that personally, I think Lumix has it's a better decision for Lumix. But I do think that when we were talking about, like, who's the fourth person to put into the poll. Yeah. I think Apple is more likely to buy over Sony, over Canon. Definitely over Nikon. It wouldn't even make sense at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if we were going to get a outside investor who's not already making cameras, and I mean like traditional cameras, not that iPhone, I think that would be the move, because Apple doesn't like to partner. All right, so if you enjoyed this clip, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, because we would love for you to join the community. Here, we're just a bunch of nerds who love camera gear and love talking about it every single week, which we do live at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that, and you don't miss any of the other clips.